Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博人。Two Chinese universities have made some amazing breakthroughs when it comes to curing diabetes, with some amazing news about a very possible cure. But Big Pharma in the West, which is profit-driven and cares more about money than health, is not happy. I'll tell you all about these cures and why only a country like China can make them a reality. Also today, China's first ever homemade aircraft carrier, the Shandong, sailed into Hong Kong recently, but one American from CNN watching on from a tiny boat wasn't exactly very happy. Let's go beyond the propaganda. This is Reports on China. I'm Andy Borham here in Shanghai. Let's get reporting. I'm back from a week away in Xizang, or Tibet as you may know it, where I was filming my upcoming short documentary, 7 Days in Xizang. I had a very enlightening time there where I visited Lhasa and the region's second largest city, Urkazi, to find out how life is for Tibetan people today as compared to the old Tibet, where 95% of the population were slaves living in a state of perpetual hunger. That documentary will be out sometime in the next few weeks, so keep an eye out. China's first ever homemade aircraft carrier, the Shandong, sailed into Hong Kong harbour last week to open to the public for the first time ever. 2,000 free tickets were snapped up almost instantly for tours of the 315-metre-long, 70,000-tonne carrier, allowing Hong Kong locals to be the first on board. The Shandong can carry up to 44 aircraft, including 32 J-15 fighters, plus helicopters. While Hong Kong residents were extremely excited, a lone CNN reporter on a dinghy was lamenting about how it's been years since an American aircraft carrier has been seen there. Let's take a look.
This is a pretty rare thing to see up close. The Chinese aircraft carrier Shandong, one of the largest weapons in China's military arsenal, at the start of a 5-day visit to the port city of Hong Kong. It is more than 3 football fields long. It can carry more than 40 aircraft. Many of them are J-15 fighter jets, the kinds that are currently on the deck of the aircraft carrier. And during flight operations, those jets, some of which you can see on the deck of the aircraft carrier, they would launch off of that sloped ski jump bow of the vessel. Around 7 years ago, I was in a small boat in this same harbor looking at a very different aircraft carrier. It was the USS Ronald Reagan making its own visit to Hong Kong. In the years since then, relations between Beijing and Washington have sharply deteriorated, and we haven't seen a U.S. Navy ship here in many years.
LOL. Here's an idea. How about American military ships stay out of Chinese waters and the American government concentrate on making their own country better? And of course, that would mean slashing military spending dramatically and spending that money improving the lives of ordinary Americans. Wouldn't that be a noble idea? Last up today, Chinese researchers have made significant breakthroughs in developing cures for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And the West's big pharma are not happy. Firstly, last year, scientists in Shanghai from Changzhen Hospital, the Center for Excellence in Molecular Cell Science under the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and Renji Hospital were able to effectively cure a man of type 2 diabetes. The South China Morning Post reported, the 52-year-old man with type 2 diabetes who needed multiple insulin injections daily was given an innovative cell transplant. He's now been insulin-free for 33 months and is not on any other medication, giving hope to other diabetes sufferers. Then researchers at Tianjin First Central Hospital were able to achieve the same thing for a type 1 diabetes sufferer. The European Medical Journal said, in a groundbreaking medical achievement, a 25-year-old woman with type 1 diabetes in China has successfully undergone a stem cell therapy that enabled her to produce her own insulin, reducing her reliance on injections. The woman was treated with stem cell-derived islet cells developed from her own fat cells, which were injected into her abdomen. This experimental treatment has allowed her to remain insulin-free for over a year since the procedure. Engineering.com explains further. This therapy takes advantage of induced pluripotent stem cell technology, a method of reprogramming adult cells to behave like embryonic stem cells. Scientists then coax these cells into becoming islet cells, which the pancreas uses to produce insulin. The process essentially rebuilds a diabetic pancreas from the inside out, without the need for donor organs, immune-suppressing drugs, or lifelong insulin therapy. Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. And it would not only be welcome news for China's approximately 233 million diabetics, but also for diabetics around the world, if it is allowed to succeed. As engineering.com continues, Big Pharma is not happy. While the news is being celebrated in the medical community, the pharmaceutical industry is less enthusiastic. In the US alone, insulin sales generate over $20 billion annually. Companies have little incentive to promote a one-time cure when they profit from daily, lifelong treatment. And therein lies the crux, and explains why only a country like China, with a socialist outlook as opposed to a capitalist, profit-driven society, can succeed in making groundbreaking treatment available to everyone. In China, for example, Big Pharma has much less influence, allowing research for the betterment of humanity to take precedence over pure profit. A socialist country like China usually emphasizes collective welfare over individual profit, potentially enabling China to release a cure even if it disrupts pharmaceutical markets, unlike capitalist systems where shareholder value often drives decisions. In China, pharmaceutical companies, even private ones, operate under strict government oversight. This limits the ability of Big Pharma to suppress a cure for financial reasons, unlike in Western markets where lobbying and market dominance by companies like Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly, or Sanofi could delay disruptive innovations. On top of that, China's state-backed manufacturing infrastructure could enable rapid scaling of a complex therapy like stem cell-derived islet cells, leveraging economies of scale to make it affordable. Capitalist systems would struggle if private companies prioritize high-margin markets or limit access to protect profits. I'm really crossing my fingers that China can make this happen. Who knows, maybe a cure for cancer will be next. And on that note, that will be it for today, you guys. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Will China succeed in releasing its cures for diabetes? And what do you think Big Pharma will do to try and stop it? Also, how impressed were you with the Shandong aircraft carrier? Do let me know down below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.